everybody, I'm Art from the A to Z Show, and welcome to Roll Film, where we look at the upcoming releases of the week and tell you what's good, what's bad, and what's in between. And this is technically the second part. I have the other reviews that I had for this week up there, but there was a couple of martial arts films that said, nah, we're not going to release it early, and maybe not even close to you, so you have to go out of your way to go see it. But luckily, I was able to find a way to do the torturous task of watching movies, so let's talk about them, starting with Ip Man 3. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ip Man is, he pretty much is the Asian Rocky, and to many, he is known as the teacher of Bruce Lee, but I know him as the man behind the story of a great trilogy, which is the Ip Man trilogy. There was also Ip Man The Final Fight, but that's pretty much what Arkham Origins is to the Arkham trilogy, so just completely avoid that one. This one, however, is the third film with Donnie Yen as Ip Man. There's also other films like The Grandmaster, who tried telling the story of Ip Man, did it in a more artistic way, but nothing beats Donnie Yen as Ip Man. I mean, not only is the dude going to be in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2 when it comes out on Netflix in February, but he's also going to be in Star Wars Rogue One. The man is 50. Not only is he a good actor, but he's still doing the choreography for these films and going out there and doing the stunts himself. Granted, because he still is in his 50s, it's not as impacting as it was in the other films because they obviously have to tone it down, with it also being a PG-13 movie where the other two were rated R. But that doesn't mean that the movie doesn't pack a 1-inch punch. He's still able to show how BA Wing Chun is while going against new adversaries, and this time around you do have Mike Tyson coming in as an American who's trying to expand property, one of the schools, and where Ip Man's like, no, that's not gonna happen. And while Mike Tyson, I'm pretty sure, was dubbed in this movie whenever he tries to speak in a foreign language, we know he's not the greatest actor. He's also aged a bit, so his fighting isn't fully there, but their fight sequence was fun to watch. All of the fight sequences in this film are fun to watch, and I say that if you are a fan of the Ip Man trilogy, then you definitely want to catch this one at the junior price. For others who may not be the biggest fans, I say rent it, and I'm pretty sure you're going to want to go back and see the other ones as well. Also, it was really cool to see more emphasis on the wife character this time around because she was kind of ignored in the other ones, but it's cool to see what they do with her character in this one. Up next, however, we have Kung Fu Panda 3, another martial arts film, which picks up right where the second one ended, where you got that majestic, crazy, mind-blowing twist reveal that, hey, look, there's more pandas out there, and one of them is actually Po's father. So Po's father goes to look for him, which is something every boy wants in their life. And of course, while the father figure was voiced by somebody else at the ending of the second one, they recast and got Bryan Cranston instead. They also get J.K. Simmons to come in and voice the villain that absolutely nobody in the film cares about. I'm talking to the point that in real life, more people know J.K. Simmons voices the yellow M&M than the animals in this movie know who this person is. As for the rest of the voice cast, which DreamWorks always gets a lot of great people, Angelina Jolie, Seth Rogen, Jackie Chan, easiest paycheck for them. However, it's the art direction in these movies that have always been the best part, and it's very easy to go, oh yeah, animated films just need to be colorful and just very flashy because it's for kids, and that's all that many animations aim to do. But no, here, the people who are animating, the art directors of this film, really value their craft and know what they're doing, in the way that they mix different art styles. The fact that they not only went back and reanimated the whole thing for the characters for the Mandarin dub, but even are able to choreograph better fight scenes than live action films. Of course, that doesn't mean that the movie isn't without its flaws, because for the third film in this franchise, you can still use the same logline, Fat Panda Saves the Day. And while all three have been solid entries to the franchise, it does get a little weary, especially when we're supposed to be seeing this character who's supposed to grow, not in weight, but he's supposed to grow and you don't really see it because he's a panda who just eats all the time and is super lazy. Now, that's not necessarily nitpicking, it's just showing you the difference between great animation that many of us associate with Pixar and then DreamWorks, who then resolves into doing things such as building up these great masters who are teaching all of these other warriors to come up. But then in this movie, what you see at the end pretty much tells you that all of those masters who have been training for such a long time, yeah, their skills aren't that special. However, by the end of it, the animation is gorgeous. It's still more or less the same that we've been getting from the other films, but that's not really a bad thing if that's what you're looking forward to, and the reason why I give it a junior price by the end credits. Last but not least, we have the foreign film Son of Saul, which is the one movie that I've been waiting to see from 2015 to finish up my top 10 list, but also the foreign film that I believe is going to win at the Oscars. And in case you don't know the story, it literally follows a Hungarian Jewish worker at Auschwitz who sets out to find a rabbi in order to give a child a proper burial. Quick note, this whole time I thought that was Jamie Bell, but I should have known it's a foreign film, so why would it be Jamie Bell? Also, Jamie Bell's career isn't fantastic right now. But breaking down the film, the one thing that this movie has been getting a lot of praise for is the way it's able to visually tell its story, its aesthetics, because it does this thing in where it's literally following the main character from the back. It's almost like the whole movie is a follow the leader type of scenario. So while a majority is really just looking at the X on his back as you're following him through, you realize that there is a lot of patience and dedication that went into not only the actor but the cinematographer, that it becomes sort of like a dance that they're doing as they're moving around the screen. The film also has a slimmed down ratio in where it's supposed to feel more like a box, sort of like what Mommy did, where you're looking at these characters in their own little boxed in world. They also play with the depth of field, and where, like I said, the focus is on the guy's shoulder, on his back as he's walking around, so everything in the background is all blurred out, and it is some of the scariest, most daunting imagery that you don't even really see. And I love the visual storytelling approach that they took with this movie, and I know that the next film that tries to do something similar to it may crash and burn and do a terrible job, but for this one, I loved it for the first 40 minutes. Because while it is such a daring vision and an experience when you're watching this in a theater, because you can't pause it or leave and you're just focusing on there and you're trying to follow the characters even though they're boxed in and just trying to see where it's going to focus in next and seeing them moving around, you pretty much end up like that Aibel in those Visine commercials. But the problem with this approach that they took, while it was interesting in the beginning, was that it ends up becoming sort of like the Blair Witch Project, and where you have those final sequences where, sure, you've been following the character this whole time, but then really it just becomes like a super shaky cam and you're like, wait, this isn't a found footage Holocaust movie, so this doesn't feel like I'm following the character. It feels like a cameraman just running like crazy. Now, it is definitely an art house film, and I'd say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the story, but I think you will be split depending on how you see the perspective of Saul. Because like I said, Saul is a guy who's trying to find humanity in this place by trying to get a proper burial for this kid. It's even crazier when you realize he's not really that religious, and you don't really see it in the movie, but you have to go find it in the director's notes. And to some people, that'll be a very engrossing story, and it was. But for me, I sort of started siding with everybody else in the camp who was like, dude, you're gonna get us killed. So while I sympathized with him, there was a certain point where I was like, all right, this is getting a little bit too much, and then they kind of threw the aesthetics out of the window when they started going super crazy with the camera work. So by the end of it, it kind of lost me, but it is such a really dark Holocaust story that is definitely an experience if you see it. Like I said, by the end of it, you're just going to be exhausted watching it. And I respect the way that they went about filming the movie. Pretty sure it's going to win the Oscar for Best Foreign Film as well. But by the end credits, I say definitely watch it at home when you rent it, just in case you get really tired and your eyes need some Visine. Not sponsored by Visine, but it would really help if they're watching. However, those are the films that we got this weekend, along with, like I said, the other part, which is right there. Definitely let me know down below in the comment section what you thought about these movies, whether you liked them, whether you didn't, whether you're looking forward to them, or you are not. We can discuss anything dealing with film down below in the comments section, but don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe, and maybe I'll get that. I'm really stuck on that Visine sponsorship. That would be really, really cool. Keep watching movies, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.